Hello and welcome. You're watching Good Morning India. I'm Gargi Rawat, and today the big story is Aam Aadmi Party and BJP both holding a dharna inside the assembly. We'll get you all those details up ahead.
Right, I'm Divya Vata. You're watching NDTV 24/7. We'll also get you the External Affairs Minister Jai Shankar's clear message to Beijing. But first, the headlines.
In Delhi, both the ruling Aam Aadmi Party and opposition BJP hold overnight vigils in the assembly, accusing each other of corruption.
Congress is facing mass exodus in Jammu and Kashmir after Ghulam Nabi Azad quit the party and announced that he will float his own party.
External Affairs Minister Jai Shankar's clear message to Beijing says the state of the border will determine the state of the relationship.
A 7-month-old boy stolen from next to his sleeping parents at the Mathura railway station last week has been found from a BJP corporator's house in Firozabad, uncovering a massive racket.
In Karnataka, politically powerful Lingayat seer booked for raping minors, but he's still not been arrested. He claims conspiracy. BJP's Yediyurappa supports him while the Congress is silent.
Devastating floods in Pakistan. Over 1,100 people have died in the floods in Pakistan. The Prime Minister Modi has said that he was saddened to see the devastation and hope for an early restoration of normalcy.
All right, let's get started. Now, the Delhi Assembly premises are witnessing a unique night, and you have both the ruling Aam Aadmi Party MLAs and opposition BJP MLAs holding overnight vigils and accusing one another of corruption.
Right, Gargi, legislators have alleged that Delhi Lieutenant Governor, that's Vinay Kumar Saxena, had pressurized his employees to exchange demonetized notes worth of 1,400 crore in 2016 when he was the Khadi and Village Industries Commission chairman.
BJP MLAs are demanding the sacking of ministers Manish Sisodiya and Satyendra Jain over alleged corruption. The AAP MLAs squatted near the Mahatma Gandhi statue, while BJP MLAs started their sit-in near the statues of Bhagat Singh, Rajguru, Sukhdev inside the assembly premises.
आप जवाब दीजिए उन एजेंसीज को जो इन्होंने प्रश्न किया है दिल्ली में आके टाइटा फेस हो गया
2 alleged scams and a trust vote. Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal called the trust vote to make the claim that the BJP had failed to split the Delhi government.
इन्होंने पूरी कोशिश करी 20-20 करोड़ रुपए के अंदर हमारे एमएलए खरीदने की कॉन्फिडेंस मोशन से हम ये साबित करेंगे दिल्ली की जनता को कि एक भी एमएलए नहीं बिका कोई नहीं बिका एक भी नहीं बिका.
The clash between the Aam Aadmi Party in Delhi and the BJP at the centre escalated with the BJP chief weighing in.
अरे भाई प्रदेश को घाटा हो गया, इतना बड़ा घोटाला हो गया, आंकड़ों सहित सबने रख दिया, तू इधर उधर की बात न कर, तू ये बता कि कारवा लुटा तो लुटा. ये बताओ ना आप, why are you diverting from it?
His colleagues in Delhi opened a new front, alleging a scam in schools, hiked costs for construction and toilets being passed off as classrooms. Kejriwal's Aam Aadmi Party projects Delhi schools as a global success story and a core election plank in Gujarat, which is the Prime Minister's home state.
Construction cost को करीब 50 से 90% तक बढ़ाया गया. ये चिंता का विषय इसलिए है क्योंकि सीवीसी ने रिपोर्ट जिसमें यह स्पष्ट था कि घोटाला हुआ है, बड़ा घोटाला हुआ है, भेजी दिल्ली सरकार के जो विजिलेंस के सेक्रेटरी हैं उन्हें और 2.5 साल पहले.
Across the country, 1400 crore khadi scam is what the Aam Aadmi Party is alleging, and they demand a resignation, a CBI probe and Mr VK Saxena to be named in the CBI FIR in this case.
The cashiers, two of the cashiers said that under duress from the chairman, they were ordered to launder the old notes and give new notes instead. So a clear-cut case of black money being converted into white, a clear-cut case of money laundering.
The BJP has rejected Aam Aadmi Party's khadi scam charge, and the Aam Aadmi Party has rejected BJP's school scam charge. Tuesday will see day 2 of the trust vote. At 62 versus 8, the focus is more likely to be on scoring political points inside and outside the assembly. In New Delhi, with camera person Joseph, Priyanshi Sharma for NDTV.
The political war between the Aam Aadmi Party and the BJP has only escalated with each passing day. But now the Aam Aadmi Party is alleging that the LG resign and that they're demanding that the Lieutenant Governor resign because the party is alleging that the Lieutenant Governor is involved in a scam of nearly 1400 crore rupees. I am here in the national capital at the Delhi Assembly, where the Aam Aadmi Party is protesting and demanding the resignation of the Lieutenant Governor. I'm joined by Mr. Durgesh Pathak, Mr. Dilip Pandey and Saurabh Bhardwaj of the Aam Aadmi Party, and Mr. Singh as well. But I'd like to begin by asking Mr. Dilip Pandey, आपने यहाँ पे अभी for a very long time you have been doing some poetry and trying to convey a message through poetry. Tell us 2 lines, please.
मांग है उसी को हम अलग अलग अंदाज में यहाँ बयान करने की और जनता के सामने रखने की कोशिश कर रहे थे। अभी हमने गाया दुष्यंत कुमार का लिखा हुआ एक बड़ा मशहूर शेर है, कहाँ तो तय था चरागा हर एक घर के लिए, कहाँ तो तय था चरागा हर एक घर के लिए, कहाँ चराग मयसर नहीं शहर के लिए, कहाँ चराग मयसर नहीं शहर के लिए। एलजी साहब आए थे दुनिया भर के बड़े बड़े वायदे करके, लेकिन यहाँ चिराग तले अंधेरा हुआ और उनके यहाँ भ्रष्टाचार का मामला पकड़ में आया। हम उम्मीद करते हैं कि 1400 करोड़ रुपए के नोटबंदी के वक्त हुए घोटाले की जांच के लिए, निष्पक्ष जांच के लिए एलजी साहब इस्तीफा जरूर देंगे।
Durgesh Pathak, you have been protesting on the ground for a very long time. आज एलजी के खिलाफ जो है प्रोटेस्ट हो रहा है, कुछ दिनों से बीजेपी के खिलाफ प्रोटेस्ट हो रहा था, आज एलजी को लेकर है। द डिमांड इज दैट ही रिजाइन्स। लेकिन ये जो पोएट्री और पॉलिटिक्स का जो ये जुगलबंदी है, कितने दिन और चलता रहेगा?
देखिए, सबसे गंभीर मुद्दा ये है कि एलजी साहब जब खादी के चेयरमैन थे, उस समय नोटबंदी के दौरान बहुत बड़े पैमाने पे गलत नोटों को चेंज किया गया। और ये हम नहीं कह रहे, उनके डिपार्टमेंट के 2 कैशियर रिटन डॉक्यूमेंट में कह रहे हैं। दुर्भाग्य की बात है कि उन कैशियर को सस्पेंड कर दिया जाता है और कोई जांच नहीं होती। और सीधे सीधे उन्होंने स्टेटमेंट में लिखा है कि उनको कहा जाता था कि ये चेयरमैन साहब का पैसा, मतलब एलजी साहब का पैसा है, जिसको बदलवाना है, जिसको पुराने नोट को नया नोट करना, और करोड़ों रुपए का हुआ। पूरे देश के अंदर लगभग 7000 इस तरह के केंद्र है, हर जगह हुआ। इतने बड़े लेवल पे घोटाले की जांच तक नहीं हुई, और जिन्होंने आरोप लगाया, जिन्होंने जो विसल ब्लोअर बने, उनको सस्पेंड कर दिया गया, जिनके ऊपर आरोप लगा उनको प्रमोशन कर दिया गया, इनको विनय सक्सेना जी को एलजी बना दिया गया, बाकी दोनों लोगों को, किसी को राजस्थान का पूरा इंचार्ज बना दिया गया। और अब तो खबर आ रही है कि शायद प्रधानमंत्री को भी ये सारी बात पता थी। तो हम तो प्रधानमंत्री से पूछ रहे हैं, क्योंकि उन्होंने पीएमओ को भी कंप्लेन की थी, हम प्रधानमंत्री से ये पूछ रहे हैं कि ऐसे व्यक्ति को आपने एलजी क्यों बनाया हुआ है, इनको एलजी पर से हटाते क्यों नहीं।
And we have our colleague Vedant joining us from the Assembly. Vedant, take us through the mood this morning. What is happening at the moment?
That's right, Divya. The Delhi Assembly premises really witnessed a unique night yesterday, because both AAP and the BJP were protesting yesterday. Both were alleging corruption by each other. So the Aam Aadmi Party, of course, said that LG Vinay Kumar Saxena was involved in what they called a khadi scam. So when LG Vinay Kumar Saxena was the chairman of the Khadi Village Industries Commission, he allegedly pressured his employees to exchange demonetized currency. And now, of course, AAP MLA is also claiming that the Prime Minister was also aware
that he was engaged in this alleged money laundering scam, this khadi scam, as the AAP is saying. And so now the AAP MLAs, of course, are demanding that the LG steps down. But at the same time, the BJP now also protesting here at the Delhi Assembly premises. Now, of course, the MLAs have dispersed to return for the 11 a.m. Assembly session. But the BJP, were protesting yesterday because they said that they were marshalled out of the assembly. They were not allowed to speak in the assembly. And of course, they're also demanding that ministers Manish Sisodia and Satyendra Jain are sacked. They're saying that these are AAP's tactics, diversionary tactics to escape corruption charges, and that both of these ministers must be immediately sacked. But very interestingly also, Divya, yesterday we saw that both AAP and BJP leaders interacting with each other, also asking if they need water. So of course a unique night yesterday at the Delhi Assembly premises, both the AAP and BJP leaders protesting. But today is very crucial. Why? Because at 11 a.m. There will be a majority vote. So now the Aadmi Party has called for this because they want to prove that despite BJP's alleged attempts to break the party and to poach MLAs, they've not been able to execute the alleged Operation Lotus in Delhi. So today is going to be very crucial, also because the Manish Sisodia has said that the CBI will be raiding his bank locker. Remember, Manish Sisodia is one of the prime accused in CBI's FIR in alleged irregularities in the excise policy scam. So now three alleged scams: the khadi scam, the school scam alleged by the BJP, and also the excise policy scam. So remember, today is going to be very crucial because Aam Aadmi Party seeks to send out this message that the BJP failed in its alleged Operation Lotus in Delhi.
All right, Vedant, thanks so much for joining us with that. So next, development in this entire story of BJP versus AAP, we're going to see play out in the assembly as it meets at 11 today. Now, moving on to other news, and an absolutely shocking story. Now, we all remember that CCTV footage recently of a 7-month-old baby being stolen as he was sleeping next to his parents. This was at the Mathura railway station. But this child has now been found 100 kilometers away at a BJP corporator's house in Firozabad.
Kargi, very, very shocking. The police have managed to crack down, and this is a racket that steals and sells such children. BJP's Vinita Agarwal and her husband had allegedly bought that boy for 1.8 lakh rupees from two doctors who were part of a larger gang as they wanted a son. The couple already, Kargi, had a daughter.
Right, 8 people have now been arrested in all, including the man who was caught on the security camera when he picked up the child from the platform. Now, it's absolutely shocking, and a detailed statement from a senior police officer says that the kidnapping was carried out by a gang involved in trafficking children for money, and that couple paying off doctors. So doctors also involved in this entire racket, paying off doctors to acquire a son. And now let's get you the latest from Jharkhand, the horrific case where a 16-year-old schoolgirl was set on fire for rejecting advances. This case has turned political now as the victim and the accused are from different communities. The girl's stalker was the neighbor Shahrukh, who'd been arrested after the crime and as the girl had identified him.
Kargi, opposition BJP has been quick to slam the Chief Minister for neglecting women's safety and faced with mounting criticism as far as Jharkhand is concerned, and saying that the state has said that that case will now be fast-tracked.
No remorse after brutally killing a 15-year-old girl, a class 12 student. In her dying declaration, she named Shahrukh Hussain, aged 22, according to the police.
नाम क्या है उनका? और उसके साथ एक लड़का जो है? हाँ, छोटू.
Shahrukh, whose background the police are investigating, appeared to be smirking after his arrest. The motive? The girl refused his proposal. The Chief Minister says he will be punished at the earliest and announced a 10 lakh rupee compensation as well as fast-track court and a senior police officer overseeing the probe.
ऐसे घटनाओं के लिए समाज में कोई जगह नहीं. इससे भी हृदय विदारक घटनाएं सुनने को मिलती हैं। ऐसे लोगों को तो कभी माफी नहीं करना चाहिए, इनको तो कड़ी से कड़ी सजा देनी चाहिए।
The victim described the attack before a magistrate, a statement that is now the strongest evidence against the accused. She died on Sunday, 5 days after the attack.
फांसी में मेरे कम है, मेरी बेटी तड़प के मरी है, गोदी में रिम्स हॉस्पिटल में तड़प के मरी है। कसम खा गई पापा उसको, बजरंग वाली कसम, पापा उसको छोड़िएगा नहीं।
The police arrested him within hours and he has been booked for murder along with his aide. As right-wing groups and political parties got involved, the police imposed prohibitory orders to prevent further tension in the area. The BJP is accusing the government of lack of empathy, as Hemant Soren's brother Basant Soren, the local MLA, hasn't visited the victim's family.
दुमका एक ऐसी जगह है जहां से माननीय शिबू सोरेन बने, हेमंत सोरेन जी वहां से विधायक बने, आज भी उनका भाई बसंत सोरेन जो है वहां का विधायक है। हम ये दिखाना चाहते हैं कि राइट ऑफ इक्वलिटी है, आम जनता हो, मुख्यमंत्री हो, मंत्री हो, सब बराबर है, लेकिन दुमका में हम एयर एम्बुलेंस नहीं ला पाते हैं।
Given that the victim and the accused belong to different communities, the horrible incident in Dumka of Jharkhand has unfortunately become political, with polarizing statements being made. But the focus will have to remain on the plight of the victim and the pain the family is going through for justice to be done in this case. With Haribansh Sharma in Ranchi, Saurabh Gupta, NDTV.
Now, a prominent and politically powerful seer in Karnataka has been booked for sexually assaulting minors in Karnataka. But the Lingayat seer Shiva Murthy Sharannaru is yet to be arrested, Gargi.
That's right, even though he's been booked under POCSO. So he has been booked, but no arrest of the seer so far. And speaking from the mutt, he claimed it was all a conspiracy. Now, since he's politically powerful, former Chief Minister B.S. Yediyurappa, the BJP leader and a Lingayat strongman, has sprung to the seer's defense and denied these charges and also called it a conspiracy. Chief Minister Basavaraj Bommai says the probe will be fair, while the Congress has remained silent.
One of Karnataka's most influential religious heads appears on the balcony of his monastery in Chitradurga, about 5 hours northwest of Bengaluru. Charged with sexually abusing minors, Dr. Shivamurthy Sharannaru, the head of a powerful Lingayat mutt, told those gathered below that the charges are a conspiracy.
ನಿಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲರ ಸಲುವಾಗಿನೇ ನಾವುಗಳು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೇವೆ ಧೈರ್ಯವಾಗಿರ್ತೀವಿ. ನೀವು ಯಾರು ಸಹ ಆತಂಕಕ್ಕೆ ಒಳಗಡೆಯಾಗುವಂತ ಒಂದು ಸಂದರ್ಭ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಬಂದಿರುವಂತ ಒಂದು ಸಂದರ್ಭವನ್ನು ನಾವುಗಳು ಅದರಿಂದ ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಬಂದೇ ಬರ್ತೀವಿ ಅನ್ನುವಂತ ಒಂದು ವಿಶ್ವಾಸ.
The charges, though, are serious. These young women brought today to the Muruga mutt for spot verification in Chitradurga say that the religious leader sexually assaulted them for a period of over 3.5 years while they were living in the hostel of the mutt. Earlier this month, they approached an NGO who helped them file a complaint. Just last month, Dr. Shivamurthy had initiated Rahul Gandhi into the Lingayat sect, an indication of the seer's cross-sectional political clout. The challenge is greatest for the ruling BJP, given its reliance on the Lingayat vote. B.S. Yediyurappa, BJP leader and a Lingayat strongman, sprang to the seer's defense even before the probe has kicked off.
ಮಠದಲ್ಲಿರೋದೇ ಮಾಡುವಂಥ ಒಂದು ಷಡ್ಯಂತ್ರ ಇದು. ತನಿಖೆ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ಸತ್ಯಾಸತ್ಯ ಹೊರಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಅವರು ಎಲ್ಲದರಿಂದ ಮುಕ್ತಿಯಾಗಿ ಹೊರಬರ್ತಾರೆ. ಅವರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಇಡೀ ನಾಡಿನ ಎಲ್ಲ ಜನ ಗೌರವ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ.
Chief Minister Basavaraj Bommai, however, said the probe will be fair.
ಅದು ಆ ತನಿಖೆ ದೃಷ್ಟಿಯಿಂದ ಸರಿಯಲ್ಲ. ಪೊಲೀಸರಿಗೆ ಸಂಪೂರ್ಣ ಸ್ವತಂತ್ರ ಇದೆ.
According to IPC and CRPC, Dr. Shivmurthy Sharanaru should have been arrested by 28th of August by 5 p.m. and produced before the court. But for the ruling dispensation, stakes are very high because Karnataka is just 7 months to elections, and also nobody wants to risk this one major vote bank. In Bengaluru, with camera person Kumar, Shrija for NDTV.
Well, let's go across to Shrija for more on this story. And Shrija, what are we expecting to happen next? This seer has been booked under POCSO, but very shocking that he's not been arrested, and also all the political issues also coming into play given Karnataka is heading for elections.
Yes, on one side you have the ruling dispensation outrightly supporting and also in fact giving clean sheet, especially to a seer, a Lingayat seer, a prominent one in Karnataka, and also in fact giving clean sheet with regard to all these POCSO charges that has been filed against Dr. Shivmurthy of the Muruga Mutt in Chitradurga district of Karnataka. On the other hand, you have of course the opposition, though not condemning this entire incident, but also talks about how the law will take its own course of action. But it's important to note that had it been a common man, you would see immediate action on ground because the police would arrest the person. But in this case, you have seen how especially the political leaders have been allowed to comment on one hand. On the other hand, you've also had the Swamiji making a public appearance, though a case has been registered against him. Now, as far as this particular POCSO case goes, we did go on to see how, there were the two victims were taken to, especially the Muruga Mutt for spot verification as well. There were several, especially members of the Child Welfare Committee who were also present. But according to the victims, they go on to state that they were harassed and sexually abused. This is in the premises of the Muruga Mutt for over the last 3.5 years. So those are the charges that have been slapped against the Muruga Mutt here. But though the investigation is currently on, he has not been taken into custody yet.
All right, not taken into custody yet. And yesterday, Shrija, there was some confusion when it seems that the seer was traveling somewhere. He was intercepted and then brought back to the Mutt, and that's when a lot of the media thought he had indeed been held. Also, what about the girls who made this accusation? They're teenagers, and they claim that this, this sexual exploitation was going on for a matter of years.
There was quite a lot of confusion that had prevailed, because what we do know is that just about yesterday, though the Chitradurga police did not confirm if it was, if Dr. Shivmurthy Sharanaru was detained or not, what we do know from a local sources from the ground is that he was detained. Now, that was the first confirmation that we had got. But then a few minutes later, what we did, of course, witness that was he had there were several news that he was planning to leave for Maharashtra from Bankapura in Karnataka Haveri district. But however, the seer was back to the Muruga Mutt. And as far as the girls are concerned, the two minor girls in the institution that was run by the by Dr. Shivmurthy of the Mutt, those two girls had, of course, alleged in their complaint, saying that aged between 15 and 16, they were sexually assaulted for nearly 3.5 years. So as far as the allegations that have been made against the seer, there are several. On one hand, you have several of the BJP leaders talking about how it is very unfortunate that, such charges have been filed against, a Lingayat seer. The Lingayat seer himself came out and made a public clarification saying that this was a conspiracy.
All right, Shrija, thanks so much for joining us with all those details.